Welcome to the woods of Virginia. For as long as humans have shared stories, we have honored forests as our connectors, rooting heaven and earth, creating the air that we breathe, and testing the greatest among us. Because in the trees, we see ourselves. We recognize the hardships, the flaws, the strength, and the potential. This year, we come together as a global community to celebrate the far-reaching impact of a sport we all love. Though the players branch far and wide, they're united together in their commitment, skill, and passion for disc golf. And like the legends of old, these athletes will perform feats most people could only dream of. Over the next 5 days, old growth will clash with the new. Amidst this chaos, the weak will fade away, only the strong will survive, and 2 will be crowned champions of the world.
That is why you dream, folks. Dreams do come true. Unbelievable.
The 2024 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships starts now.
Hello and welcome to Lynchburg, Virginia and the 2024 PDGA Professional World Championships. This is the big one, and you're watching BigSexy commentary, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling. And we should say, for Yuli and his wife Sarah, expecting the birth of his first child, their first child, any day now. Hope everything goes well.
Absolutely. We're going to be missing him in the booth and in the tournament this week. But while we're on the subject of Jomez, let's go ahead and show off these Tombstone teens here. These are our world shirts, very comfortable. Nate loves them. We've got them in t-shirts and tank tops. I really like mine. So check those out right now. And let's get into it. We got the 6-time world champion course designer here at New London, Paul McBeth, on the card. This is a place that's obviously very near and dear to his heart. He's put so much time and effort into this wonderful wooded track. 2-time world champion, 6-time major champion, Ricky Wysocki hasn't won a major championship since his last world title back in 2017 in Augusta. You know he's hungry this week. The defending champion, Isaac Robinson, who is getting hot at the right time, folks. This is when you want to peak, and Isaac has been just rolling lately. He has been really showing his true form, what won him the world championships last year. And the surprising non-major winning Simon Lizotte. This guy has won so many Pro Tour events, obviously fan favorite, has not won a major yet. How incredible would it be for the first international pro world title champion to be Simon Lizotte this week? Let's get right into the action. Beautiful New London course.
Hole 1, par 3, 395, bending slightly left. It's got a pretty fair width of fairway, but there is this sneaky little hill next to the basket, so your forehand or your backhand that turns too much might get down the hill away from you a little bit. Anthony's just going putter here, going to look for this to straighten as it flies and skip forward.
395, so you know Anthony's me going with the Luna off the tee. It's a good drive, just short of C1.
And then swings it wide. Going to look to avoid a big kick to the right. And avoid it he does. Just kind of continues to fly. That's going to be no problem for the par.
You know all eyes are going to be on Gannon this week. Obviously the player of the year, #1 ranked player. Is he the highest rated player right now? He is. He has got it all going for him. Big time favorite to win this week.
This is our second feature group, by the way, going off, as you might have noticed. These aren't the players that we just introduced, and Anthony starting off hot.
That's a good putt to start your world championship. Good birdie to take.
He is your reigning and defending MPO world champion from Lawrenceville, Georgia, Isaac Robinson.
And what a day one gallery we have today. Lynchburg, the weather is absolutely perfect. I believe it was like a high of 75, very low wind, beautiful skies. Great day for disc golf.
Wow, super inside, but it's straightening up. And a great skip forward.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I don't think he wants it that close to those trees on the left, but he'll love the result.
Time MPO world champion from Huntington Beach, California, Paul McBeth.
9 world championships on this card. Fantastic feature group to start the event.
It's more the line you'd expect to see. Gonna have to dodge a tree.
Yeah. And I like what Isaac did there. You know, maybe it was a little bit too tight on that left side, but
Obviously, it's perfect. I mean, he got down there.
Simon Lizotte.
A little bit too wide, potentially. Doesn't really have that left swing.
that just has a little bit more stability. You might find that backdoor gap.
The two-time MPO world champion from Scottsdale, Arizona, Ricky Wysocki.
That's the craziest thing in the last 7-year run that Ricky hasn't found a major title. Just arguably the third or fourth best player of all time. Just on a major drought, surprising after all the Pro Tour wins he's had in that span.
I almost think it's just not true. You know?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
I keep hearing that statistic. I'm skeptical.
History is a little strange at times.
It's pretty good, just outside the circle for Rick.
Little window here for Simon. Few players in the game like these type of putts more than Simon.
Oh, trouble.
But he's going to have to earn the par now outside C1.
Just a little touch of the cage for McBeth from 45 feet or so.
Good birdie for Rick. Love to knock down this par save. Generate a little momentum from that. No harm, no foul. Gave the initial putt a good run. Unfortunate roll. And perfect. Almost makes me think this hole is a backhand hole.
I think it is.
It certainly is, but I'm not going to ever do that.
I would never.
The basket's on the right side of the fairway. It's a sidearm hole.
But we march to the beat of our own drum.
I always like Worlds and Jomez coverage because they do some things differently. It's a nice... We're taking it serious on the course. They're taking it serious in the editing booth. And you guys are taking it serious at home. The way it should be.
This hole is a serious
No
affair.
kidding. Yes.
Hole 2, par 4, 977. Trees everywhere. No out of bounds, thankfully. All you have to do is throw it low and flat, about 475, find the center, and then throw it again.
500 feet.
roughly.
Roughly about 500.
About 500 more. And then you're on it. I mean, then you're just putting at that point. But it demands 2 phenomenal shots. See if Isaac can get this first one down the fairway. It's looking pretty good.
Just needs to start hooking now. Man, you can't do it. You cannot do it better than that. And as beautiful and straight as that was, it still couldn't have been more right and stayed in the fairway, and it's still on the left side of the fairway. That's how tricky this tee shot shape is.
Yeah, that's what I often notice about this hole. Like, this is going to be in the woods, I would expect. It looks great. It's down the fairway, but now watch it skip into the woods.
You're in the rough. You're in jail.
And he threw a great shot. He hit the fairway. It's nice and flat. It almost has to look like it's turning over late to find the middle down there.
I think the smartest way to play this one for par, which is I think what most people are thinking when they step up on hole 2, is mid-range off the tee.
Oh, good kick.
Is a very nice bounce. Still very tricky run up, and don't know if he's going to be able to get any power on that next shot. Unless he goes forehand.
Starting to get a little bit flat. See if this skips to the woods. I think it might.
That's a nice soft landing for Simon.
It's going to be just enough to be annoying, maybe. That's a 500-foot stake right there. So 500 feet to the pin for Paul. That's great control.
Yeah, and
oh no,
this is going to play like a par 5. It's going to play like a somewhat soft par 5.
Absolutely.
So a 5 on this, or a 4 on this hole is fine, and even a 5 is fine on this hole. That's awesome. Nice shot. Little off the fairway, but that's going to be close enough that Ricky should be able to scramble the 4.
Needs some turn. Fights through. Might be circle 2.
Hard to imagine he'll have a look, but par has been essentially secured.
To your point about this being essentially a par 5, as we watch this slow drifting shot, starting to fade a little early for my taste from Isaac, but still gonna be putting.
What, C1?
It might be. That was
wow.
Nice, really nice.
Wow.
I'm gonna guess, and I know you're a stats man.
I am.
But I'm gonna guess that there are 2 par 5s coming up on this course that play a easier average raw number, not to par.
Okay.
Hole 7 and hole 9.
Incorrect on both.
Dang it.
This one does play slightly easier raw score, but they're close.
Okay.
This is a 4-4-4, and those par 5s are 4-6-1 and 4-8-2. So very comparable.
Well, you miss all the shots you don't take, as they say.
Simon, yeah, that looked like just a layup. And that is nearly half stroke better than the field average. Ricky's outside the C1 for the par. And he will not get up and down and save. Now, Isaac for a dream start to get the first 2.
Wow.
Wow.
I would guess like 5 people maybe are going to be 2 through 2. I mean, just because hole 1 is not easy per se. It's a medium difficulty hole. And then this one is just an absolute beast.
So as we check in after the holes, you're going to see a combination of A pool and B pool. Keep in mind that B pool is playing Ivy Hill. Not an easy starting holes by any means, but you're going to see some names that you might not recognize that might be tied with Isaac after 2, and those might be B pool players.
And just to explain what that even means to the viewers, the world has 208 MPO players. You can't fit all those on the same course on the same day.
No, you can't.
So we have roughly half playing the other course, Ivy Hill, and it's segregated by player rating. So the top roughly 100 players are over here on New London playing in the A pool for the first day, then Ivy Hill the next day, and vice versa for the B pool. After that, the scores are all shuffled And then the top scores are in the A pool, playing again at New London Day 3.
There you go. It looks like we had a few players, James Conrad, Eagle McMahon. I think Ezra was on that as well as 2 under. So the Robinson brothers.
Yep, Gavin Rathbun in my group achieved the feat of birdieing those first 2.
Hole 3 is a slight turnover. It's really just a straight shot that looks like it's a turnover. But Isaac's going to prove that it is indeed a turnover.
Nice little kiss as well. It's looking like a 3 for 3 start. Making an early statement.
385. There is an inside forehand flip up route, but I think you're going to see most of these guys do what you just saw there from Isaac.
Overturned.
Another
fighting through. No.
Initial helping branch, and then a tree says no.
Still an opportunity to make a putt. C2, I think. Oh, very similar. Whoa. Hit a metal sign, though.
One of the nature conservation area signs. Initially, there was out of bounds on the right side of 1, 2, and 3, but they removed that for the World Championships, which I think is a good move. There's enough OB in the woods out here. Okay. That's as good as it could be thrown.
Yeah, absolute beauty from Ricky. Just hardly any actual turnover there, you know, just playing the hillside, a little tiny bit of drift, and just beautiful ground play. Bullseye.
That's why it's just a straight shot. It doesn't really need to move much from left to right to achieve perfection. Be careful. Okay.
It's more stress than you signed up for from that spot.
Oh my goodness, that is a lot of high left chains.
Yeah, that's about an inch from dropping, I would guess. Really good effort.
A good save from Paul, similar to Simon on hole 1. If you like tricky, woodsy, straddle, tree-obstructed putts, this is going to be a fun round for you. This course presents a lot of those opportunities. And if you like starting off 3 for 3, don't get used to that because that is a rare feat. But also done in your card by Gavin Rathbun. Let's see who else we might recognize on that leaderboard, 3 through 3. I do know that Stokely did that from B Pool. So he's going to be on this list here. The list narrows.
Those Robinsons.
I tell you, man. And Conrad, some world champions.
Introducing Disc Raptor, the best way to clean and dry your discs on the course. Make short work of mud, moisture, and dust in a quick spin. It's there when you need it. Welcome to the future of disc golf.
Hole 4, par 3, 286. Kind of a short, technical woods shot. Flex forehand for a right-hander is certainly the best option here. Trying to go under this first leaning tree and fade in right before the second one. Little ditch here is a common collection area for shots. But if you can get something up there moving right, pretty doable birdie. One of the shortest holes on the course. Backhand also can be done.
Not by many people.
Wow.
Not by many people at all. But this man is motivated. And this is just Georgia disc golf, man. This is Southeast woods. It looks no different than Charlotte, than Georgia, Virginia. It's all the same thing. This guy's at home right now playing with his family.
This might be a little long.
And a little wide, little long, little rolly.
Getting longer.
Deep C2, obstructed putt coming back. That needs to be really overstable, and I think it's starting to work. Yeah.
Nice.
It'll help there as well.
That was really overstable. You're right. I
Didn't
mean, he
look good
put
out of his hand.
extreme angle on that thing. Sneaks through.
Yeah, it gets a look of some sort. Call it just outside 55. Oh, another close one for Simon. He's hit metal on 1, 3, and now 4. Had a chance at 2, just hasn't quite connected. Oh, Ricky falls out. He was ready to raptor it in there, man. That was so close. Simon had a little bit coming back, too.
He's working hard.
No kidding. He's already exhausted, folks. For those who don't know, World Championships has changed from in the past being like an 8-round, even sometimes historically more than that, endurance festival. Courses used to be a bit shorter, not quite as demanding as they are nowadays, but these days we do 5-round World Championships. Everyone gets to play the first 4, and then there will be a cut. I'm guessing the top 72. Don't know that information for certain, but then there will be one final round on Sunday, and then we will name our world champion after that.
Isaac stands alone at 4 under. After that dream start he's on, see if he can keep it going here on 5, a 707-foot par 4. Have to hit a tiny bit of a gap off the tee. You want to move the disc from left to right. You could potentially think about a backhand roller, but I think backhand turnover or big forehand more likely options. And then you have probably at least 300 to the pin generally from where you're going to land. See if Niklas can show us how it's done.
He is such a good angle thrower.
Here is that roller.
The rollers.
Gets him way up high on the hill.
I would imagine it's the same blue PD perhaps that he's been throwing for years. Just insane number of quality throws. And then look at this bomb and forehand.
Okay. 100 short. What do you have for us?
Well, he is one of the best from this range. So much control with his spin and nose angle. Just
wow.
Send it in.
Give the people what they came here for.
Prepping for next year's World Championships that are going to be in his home country of Finland. Love to take the world title back to his homeland. Defend it on his own turf. He's one of those guys.
Roller upright. Just needs to stop before the OB line.
Oh, man. I thought that would curl up a little bit quicker. So the perfect start will end at 4. Still a decent chance to save the par. Achieved really good distance with that roller before it found OB.
Looks like Ricky also eyeing up that flex forehand that we saw McBeth take.
So much power, so much spin, speed. And that hillside, even though it does slope towards OB at the bottom of the hill, the way the forehand collects with that flex shot and the length of the grass, it really sits nicely almost every time. Even Simon wants a piece of it. That'll leave them somewhere in the 350 to 360 range, I'd imagine. Maybe even a little shorter for Simon here.
Probably another similarly shaped shot. Forehand flex gives you the most chance to work through the gaps.
Oh, man.
Niklas can make it from there.
Simon, another one of those guys that nose up. Anheuser is a deadly weapon from that range. This looks a little bit more what you're looking for. Missed that tree there. Oh,
boy.
Sneaks around the OB stake into C1.
Wow, that really pushed long.
I'm learning. I've only played the course 3 times now, so I'm still learning by watching.
Rick going to try the hyzer. That's the advantage he gets from that big drive. And you like the result.
Yeah. Just sneaking by the enemy tree. That is a very well thrown approach. Isaac's father on the bag this week. Wonder how Ez feels about that.
Win yourself a Worlds, you know?
Wow,
he almost did it.
Oh, almost on cue. What a run. He is so good from that range, but he is just saying to himself, what do I got to do?
Absolutely.
4 of the 5 holes so far hitting metal for birdie and still even par.
Whoa. Frustrating effort, I'm guessing, as that comes in low of the cage.
Wow. Okay.
That'll wake you up.
Yeah, rough
Not that he really needed it.
Yeah,
I mean,
rough start
he's
for
on
Isaac.
fire,
Yeah, he's
but
only 4 through 5.
it will still kind of sometimes bring your focus
Sure.
back, sharpen
Sure.
your focus. When one that you're almost taking for granted, he's obviously the putter's feeling great. You have one come out a little bit lazy. Not the worst thing. One that will catch and maybe get him to take that extra second to drive the next one into the center.
Now, if you're Paul, I don't know. I think we all have some struggles with this, but when you miss one that low, can you just frame that as a miss is a miss? Like, can that feel like a good putt that just fell out, or does that stick with you? You know what I mean? Like, does that translate to the next putt, or a player like Paul, is he able to just refocus?
I think he's certainly able to refocus. I think he is more frustrated by that than the chain out, but he's going to take that and use it to make sure that he's committing to the next one. I mean, I think that's how any great player would approach it.
The marathon of hole 6. Let's begin. This is a 1,215-foot absolute diabolical par 5. It feels like it's a par 6 because the par, or the scoring average, is 594.
Wow.
594. You have this insanely cruel OB, the right side the entire way. Now let's going to check in with AB and see how.
You can't really get a ton of distance off the tee. That back wall out of bounds is waiting.
That is pushing that back wall in a helpful tree.
That is fantastic.
Okay.
It's only about 320 to that back wall. You can rip a hyzer around the corner. You might be able to get 370 off this tee.
Yeah.
But that's about all I can imagine.
This is really where the hole is made, is the second shot.
Does that have too much turn?
That's going out of bounds. Oh my gosh. Never mind. AB living on the right side.
What did he have for breakfast, you think?
Sunny side up, man. He's going. He's going for it. That is so aggressive with the out of bounds.
Well, there's no out of bounds left. So as long as you can commit to getting left of the bridge, you might be in the woods, but you'll be safe.
He's putting for birdie right now, Nate.
But how can he bounce it off a tree? He doesn't need to.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That was awesome.
Anthony Brella is 4 through 6 now. That's essentially 5 through 6 with this hole playing as hard as it is and with all the good breaks that he got down. Wow.
So we see Rick going putter, I believe.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Whoa, okay.
But that's playing for par, right? I mean, just by virtue of that shot, there's no way he reaches a spot where he can see the basket. Don't you think?
I don't think it's reasonable to play this hole for birdie unless you're just that guy.
Well, here comes that guy.
Yeah, that's like
This is a shot that reads to me like I want to make a birdie.
Well, Isaac birdied hole 2, so he's that guy.
Yeah.
And he's the reigning world champion, so he's definitely that guy, pal.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, it is.
But is it too short?
I'm afraid it's left, but I'm not afraid anymore.
Oh, that's a good reaction.
Really good. And not so good on the roll back.
But overall positive.
Yeah, will
It's
he
just
have room to swing?
It's such a big difference. I mean, just being 1 foot into the rough, there's no way you're going to achieve big distance. This is so...
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't.
no. I just wanted to say how smart this was from Ricky Wysocki,
Yeah.
and now it overcooks
It's still
OB.
smart. Let's not take away from the fact
the
that
idea.
Yeah.
I think surprising restraint shown by Ricky here.
And he's going to pay the price for being a little bit overcooked on that approach.
This has got to be in the woods on the left.
Unless he's getting that Anthony Barella love, yeah. And that's going to be a very tough par to save. I would imagine bogey coming from Simon, but it is possible to save the par.
From here, you need... Oh, no. Oh, that is fantastic luck.
What is going on right now in this hole? This is interesting.
He must have slipped. That was sent out of bounds. From where Paul is, from where Isaac is, this hole is asking you to throw over 450 feet right now.
Yeah.
With the OB on the right side the whole way.
Yep. And you're not going to birdie it unless you throw an accurate 450. And Isaac is around the corner, but in a way that
That's layup zone
to
my eye.
I cannot see, unless he has a big forehand that he's just been hiding for a decade.
He probably does, but I don't know that he's going to use it right
I
now.
don't think he's going to bust it out.
He's probably going to wait for an even bigger moment, maybe round 5.
Paul is going to have to throw forehand from there, I'm afraid. Not that he doesn't have a good forehand, but I think his options are limited.
It's a better backhand if you can get it.
That manhole cover that's right by Ricky is kind of a good place to try to get your second shot somewhere near there.
I'm sure that's exactly what Ricky's thinking when he's going with the slow speed discs. And look what Simon's reduced to. No opportunity to get hardly any distance.
Oh, that's great, though. I mean, the rough here is so thick. Right as soon as you get off the fairway, you're in it.
And I don't think he can be aggressive from here.
So conceding the bogey, which is a fine score. A 6 is not a bad problem here.
Whoa, that's all he wants.
Yeah, well, saving it for round 5. Nate, you called it.
But I'm pretty surprised that all he wants is just a little putt there. Certainly he could have tried for some more distance down, but I guess when you're that comfortable.
He's pretty comfy, man. Rick nearly sends it in there for the par save. He'll have that short putt for the 6.
And you were right. Paul's going to have to go with some kind of forehand and hyzer here, but all those trees on the left are out of bounds right there. He needs to fight through them, and he does.
But look at the difference between the break that Anthony got with his shot versus Paul going back into the Cedars. I don't even think Paul will have a look. Isaac still a good chance to save the bird. I'm going to call it a party. I mean, it's really what it is. A 5 in this hole, you're feeling magnificent.
That's a lot of width.
Ooh.
Wow, that's playing with fire.
That is very fortunate. Over OB on all those limbs that it cleared. Any one of those just drops it straight out of bounds.
You don't like being there.
No, that's terrible. And I mean, not even a chance for creativity. I do like an intermediate rough. I think it's fun to have at least a chance from that close. But it will be a 6 for Ricky, more than likely a 6 for Paul and for Simon.
Just all the more proof how special the 4 that we saw from Anthony
No kidding.
is.
And speaking of 6, that's exactly how many players got the birdie today in the 8 pool. 6 total players. And I think there was over 120 playing in the 8 pool.
Oh, really? That many?
I think so.
Isaac for the 5. Well done. Let me hear the scoring breakdown on that hole if you could. Like what percentage of people are taking bogeys?
167. 167 in the 8 pool. That's just incredible. It's way more than 120. That's how many people out of 167, only 6 players. And I'll give you the numbers when we get back from this commercial break.
Official merchandise of the 2024 PDGA World Championships. A wide array of apparel items and gear celebrating the biggest competition in the sport. Shop the entire collection on shopledgestone.com.
Hole 7, par 5, 758. This is a very short and very technical par 5. You can very easily play this hole putter, 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 and get your birdie. You're not really required to throw any shot over about 250 feet. It's when you try to press that this thing can really show its teeth. A little island green you're trying to attack here. Pretty interesting and different hole than what we've seen before. And we got to deliver on that promise. What were those score breakdowns?
Over a quarter of the field taking double bogey or worse. Like, that's pretty incredible. But the 6 birdies, I want to give them a shout out. Lowry Leitonen, Joel Freeman, Connor Rock, Gavin Babcock, Anthony Barella, as you saw, and Eagle McMahon. As we see Isaac's turnover go into a casual relief area into those rocks. He can throw from there if he'd like, but he can also bring it back.
Speaking of Eagle McMahon, check out that top right corner of your screen.
5 of them through the first 6 holes.
Ricky, a little short of ideal. Inbounds, but he might have to go outside the game plan as far as a disc choice from that spot.
That's incredible that Eagles 5 through 6. The early stretch on this course really sets the tone for one of the hardest woods courses you'll ever play.
I mean, you've already played hole 2 and hole 6.
Yeah.
So
that's
2 of the hardest holes of the year right there.
Hole
That
1
is more ideal, in my opinion, where Simon's put it.
Well, Simon, with all the birdie chances, finally takes a score other than par, and it's a bogey.
Oh, this is a bad mistake.
Uh-oh.
That's going to be a difficult decision, I think. A very risky shot to go for the green from there.
And Ricky finds a really good shot there. That is going to be perfect.
Small gap, as you can see. So that landing zone Ricky found is great. You can see what you're trying to do. You can judge the weight of the shot. Going after this one from blind position, tricky thing to do.
This is not a hole where if you play this hole blind without playing video, that your intuition or your instincts would ever tell you exactly how far to throw it. This is one you definitely need to dial in 2 or 3 practice rounds, get your landing zones right, and then the hole shouldn't be that difficult.
That's a little short, but I think certainly still green light.
McBeth is not eyeing a layup.
You can see just how difficult that was. Has to swoop it under the branches. Don't like that I saw that connect with a tree.
Yeah, that's going to be out of bounds. So bogey coming for McBeth.
Perfect shot from Simon.
Probably blind from view for Isaac, but that is going to be no problem for him.
I wonder if we'll get the chance to see anyone play aggressive off the tee here. Theoretically, you could play power forehand and then big hyzer backhand and potentially look at eagle here.
I think it's certainly in play. I think it might even be better for the backhand turnover. Is there height off the tee? Do you have a ceiling where you could get a mid-range to turn?
You might be able to.
I think that would be the most legitimate way to do it.
So Paul did get to advance to the island.
Could save par.
It did look like a nice line, didn't it?
Just a bit low. Hard to get the height right from that distance with a low ceiling. The other three players will tap in their birdies, and McBeth will proceed to hole 8, 1 over par. This is shaping to be a very Ricky Wysocki type front nine. A lot of birdies, a couple bogeys. Not many pars. It's just he has an aversion to taking par, it seems. But Simon finally getting his first birdie here on 7. And Barella now 5 under, tied with Isaac.
5 players at 5 under so far,
including Beeple. I'm not sure if any of those guys were Beeple.
I don't think they were.
Okay.
Hole 8, par 4, 585. Just as narrow as disc golf holes get off the tee. You got OB on the right side. You're just trying to fire a driver up the middle. A little bit of turn will help you get up that hill as far as you possibly can. And then it kind of feels like scrambling no matter where you land. You're just trying to manufacture something. Get yourself a floaty little shot, a high hyzer, a skip shot, something to advance up towards that basket. That's going to be all right. I think he's probably got fairway driver from there. Going to have to hit a narrow gap, obviously, but I think birdie in play.
Ricky overturns but gets past the first tree. Actually kicks back into the fairway. That's a fine result.
Yeah, right next to Isaac. It'll take a special shot to birdie from there, but that's kind of all these guys throw.
Simon. That's going to take a special shot to birdie from there.
I'm going to put that out of reach. But I'd love,
out of reach,
I would love to be proven wrong.
Man, not much is out of reach of that man.
Not distance-wise, but tree between you and it wise.
That is a gorgeous shape for McBeth. Even slides past the big obstacle tree. Obviously, still going to be a very technical approach shot. All shots on this hole require a very precise line. And Simon nearly makes it through all the trees, but he's going to be in the fairway for his third. Hard left kick for Ricky.
This has potential.
Yeah. Yep.
There's that special shot.
Yep.
Very nice shot from awkward footing.
Yeah, that's a perfectly played hole for Paul. This looks to be pretty good for Simon. Pretty typical results that you see going into this very rocky green. Good touch. Good scrambling there for Simon.
Very nice birdie. 6 under now. phenomenal start. I really just can't get over how well he's playing.
This course sets up really well for forehand wood shots in a lot of places, which means it's the perfect course for Isaac Robinson. Maybe the most accurate backhand thrower I've ever witnessed in my time in this sport. 3 players, 6 through 8, incredible. Including last event's champion, Joey Buckets, man. He is coming out here on fire again. Another one of those players that's really peaking at the right time.
Hole 9, par 5, 1,234 feet. Nice overhead view here showing you the inbounds area of the hole. You've got to make a little clearance at first, but it's no issue for anyone in the MPO field. You're just throwing over this OB valley into the fairway. If you move too much left, there is some OB, obviously OB right as well, and also some tricky little trees that can really stymie you. This has that nice little bit of turn on it. Should stay out right far enough. Very good.
Everybody can hold still, please. Hold still.
And I think this line is pretty good as well. Yep.
Yeah,
just need to stay away from that cable.
Stay away from the cable. There's also a power pole, but that main clump of trees up there is the main thing you're really just trying to avoid. And it's just a collection point for so many otherwise great looking tee shots.
I think this is in danger.
Yeah, this is, yep.
It's just out of sight left. Let's see if this goes right into these little trees. He gets through.
I thought if he had any hope, it would be that it would go just left and he could have caught any one of the base of those trees and just been in a horrible spot. But now Ricky's going to have nothing but green sky or blue skies and green fairway.
Simon Laudehizer here looking to go left on purpose.
And I think he hit the pole.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that's forcing the issue to make sure that your left side, I like that shot shape for Simon. It's good to hear that this dog, 3.5 hours later, is still going after it. Just motivated.
Danger here.
Yeah, this is going to be flirting.
Nice. Big distance.
But Simon's a big flirt.
He is. When it comes out of bounds anyway.
Never serious about it. Just likes to tease the OB a little bit. Give me that commitment and that angle and the assurance of the result being perfect. Please, just I want it for one tournament.
A little bit lower than you might have expected. And big forward skip.
Wow.
He's certainly done enough to put himself in position for birdie.
No doubt.
I would expect this is high 300s to the basket.
Yeah, as far as uphill 1,200-foot par fives go, this is about as wide of a fairway as you're going to see. It's a relatively easy birdie hole for the guys that are throwing accurate 500-foot shots. One that you're expecting to get a look if you start the hole off with 2 good shots.
Swing in. How's the distance? Little long, but fantastic. Circle 1 for Isaac.
Just one tournament. A little more straightforward type of approach for Simon, going with a slower disc. Yeah.
Market birdie.
And that will get Simon under par for the first time at the World Championships. This is a bit wide.
Yeah, more than a bit. I mean, that's
a shank.
Certainly Ricky would feel that way. I mean, that's not a good shot from where he just was. See if he can atone on the putting green.
Atonement denied. That's a frustrating par to take after the big tee shot, the big skip on the second shot.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like you've done the hard work.
Yeah, that's right.
And now the simplest, what would appear to be the simplest shot is the one that fails you. And that can wreak havoc with you a little bit.
7 under on the front 9.
And what a feeling. I mean, to be defending your title, you got Rick and Paul right here, and you are dominating them.
7 under on the front 9 with an OB stroke.
Amazing.
And the par, aside from the OB stroke hole, was on the hardest hole that we play outside of Northwood Black. And I believe this year Northwood Black did not average that close to a stroke over par. So hole 6 out here might be the hardest hole that we play on tour this season. What an impressive front 9 for Isaac coming out of the gates, 7 under. Only got 1 shot on Anthony Brella, the runner-up last year at the World Championships. So these guys coming out hot this year. Eagle McMahon, after his hot under 5 under through 6 start, still at 5 under in what, 4th place?
Incredible golf. And again, we've got B-pool scores mixed in here as you see this thing scrolling by, but near perfection, I think, that 7 under, as you said.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's as close to it. I mean, if that roller stays in bounds, we're looking at an 8 under start, and that's just, I mean, hard to even conceive that. I mean, you could give almost any player out here 100 tries, and almost no one is going to start off that good on those holes.
Super excited to see how much lower he can push that number on the back 9.
Let's give a quick shout out to Samuel Sargent, Founders Club 100 at the very top, our first Founders Club member. Congratulations to you on a century of weeks for supporting us. Or months. I'm sorry, months. Wow. Thank you so much to all of you guys. But Samuel Sargent, you've been at the top of this list for a long time for good reason. So we salute you. We'll catch you guys in the back 9 of round 1 in just a moment.